everyone, my name's Kylie. I'm a certified nutritionist here at Nutrition. I'm here to talk about the top 5 benefits of drinking coffee. I have to admit, I never drank coffee until I came to Canada. And I was like, what's the big hype? There's like a coffee store on every corner. So I had some. I was like, oh my God, I can do so much work. This is great. I've got so much energy. And then over time, I have to admit, I found coffee gave me a brain fog. It actually made me tired. And so now I tend to drink green tea. And if I do drink coffee, it's decaffeinated. But the coffee culture is massive across the world. And I find it's a bit of a conundrum. There's lots of health benefits with coffee, and there's like a dark side to coffee. And I don't mean the dark roast side. But today, just want to keep it light and positive. There is actually tons of health benefits of coffee, more than 5, but I just wanted to touch on the top 5 today. So let's get started. So the main component in coffee is caffeine, and caffeine is actually a drug, which is probably why we love it so much. So what caffeine does is it acts on our central nervous system by helping to shut out adenosine. So adenosine is responsible for making us feel sleepy and tired. So your brain can't tell the difference between adenosine and caffeine. So when caffeine is ingested, adenosine gets shut out. So you feel less drowsy and you actually feel more alert and awake. Now, coffee makes up 60% of caffeine consumption, but it's found in energy drinks like Red Bull, soft drinks like Coke and Pepsi. It's in our tea and it's in our chocolate as well. So it's really hard to get an idea of how much caffeine we consume because it's going to really vary between the tons of different coffees out there and foods. But definitely coffee should be consumed in moderation. If you consume too much, like I said, there is a downside to drinking coffee as well. So you just want to make sure you're drinking it in moderation. So let's look at the top 5 health benefits. So number 1, can help with depression. So again, what we talked about before, the caffeine in coffee presents adenosine from attaching to brain receptors that promote tiredness. So therefore, it increases our alertness and our attention. Now, this is great for people with depression. I've actually interviewed a lot of people on depression lately. And one of the big things that comes up is I know what to do, but I just don't have the motivation or the oomph to do it. So again, maybe drinking a cup of coffee can give people that added boost that they need to sort of get them started on their day. So coffee also increases the release of mood-boosting neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine. So this again, dopamine is responsible for that appreciating and understanding pleasure, excitement, motivation. And interesting enough, there was a study done of 72 people, and they found that drinking both caffeinated and decaffeinated coffee significantly improved mood compared to the placebo beverage. So what this suggests is that coffee contains other compounds that influence mood. And this is great because I prefer decaf than regular coffee. And there may be one reason why that happens, which I'll talk about shortly. But again, great potentially for helping with depression, with helping with that oomph to get going in the morning. So coffee may help with weight loss as well. So research shows those who consume the most coffee and caffeine were more successful at maintaining their weight loss over time. So one of the reasons is that it can speed up your basal metabolic rate, which means you can burn more calories at rest, or while you're listening to this talk, you're actually burning more calories. Now, what's interesting, this is only in the short term. So in the short term, you can burn about 75 to 110 extra calories per day. But what the research shows, it doesn't appear to help once tolerance to the caffeine is built up. Now, a bigger reason why it's good for weight loss is it's a natural appetite suppressant. So when you drink coffee, a lot of times people don't feel as hungry, or they may skip a meal, which is probably not the greatest, but it can help to manage portion sizes and calories consumed throughout the day. Coffee is also really low in calories, so a regular cup of coffee only contains 2 calories. Now, this is black coffee. We want to stay away from milk. Milk has the sugar lactose in it. And of course, all those sweeteners, artificial sweeteners and flavorings, they're all going to add a bunch of calories and sugar to it. But definitely can help support weight loss and weight management. No surprise, it can help unclog the pipes. So coffee is a natural laxative. So that caffeine in the coffee can stimulate the gastrointestinal system and help regulate the bowel movement. Coffee also actually has fiber in it too. And I didn't realize that until I was doing a computerized analysis of a food journal. And this person didn't eat that much fruit and vegetables, but I saw they consumed a ton of coffee and they were getting most of their fiber from the coffee. So I thought that was interesting. So what also happens with coffee and caffeine is it actually helps to soften the muscles. It stimulates the magnitude or the strength of that peristaltic movement, which is the muscles that push along the intestines to push that food matter or that fecal matter along the intestines. Really helps to ease that flow of the stool along the colon. There's actually also evidence to suggest that coffee could be protective against a variety of digestive issues and digestive diseases, which is pretty cool. Again, it's recommended that drinking plain black coffee, much better than, again, the dairy and the sugars, etc. So this is really, really cool. And I did not realize this. And I just actually learned this probably in the last couple of weeks, is studies show that coffee is one of the largest sources of antioxidants in the human diet. So this is like crazy. This blew me away. So the polyphenols, which is a type of antioxidant found in coffee, has been shown to prevent a number of conditions such as heart disease, liver disease, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, cancer, and type 2 diabetes. It's like, wow. And this is really cool too. Coffee drinkers have a 23 to 50% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So they worked it out, the study worked it out that each daily cup is linked to a 7% reduced risk. Now, again, being mindful in moderation, because if you drink too much coffee, you're going to have a whole bunch of health issues or health problems in the body because of that. So again, in moderation. Another study showed that regularly drinking coffee may also reduce your risk of Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease anywhere between 32 and 65%. So this just blows my mind. I never realized the power of coffee. And these are all like research studies too. So I thought this was like super cool. And of course, improves mental alertness and focus. So again, caffeine blocks out adenosine, which helps us to feel sleepy. So in turn, helps us to feel upbeat and alert. It also shows to sharpen concentration. So one study found that drinking coffee led to short-term improvements in attention and alertness, especially in participants completing like a cognitive test. And this was interesting. So it can improve memory, but the studies show that caffeine only improves memory if it's used both at the time that you're taking in the information and at the time of recalling the information later. So what that means is if you're a student and you're studying for exam, if you're studying and drinking a lot of coffee, you want to make sure that when you're taking that exam, you're drinking a lot of coffee at the same time, because that's going to give you the benefit of the memory recall. So I thought that was pretty cool and interesting too. So thanks. That's the references from my short and sweet talk on the top 5 health benefits of coffee. Like I said, that isn't an exhausted list, but something to be mindful of when you're sipping on your cuppa in the morning. You're doing all these great things, getting tons of those antioxidants. So thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.